St. Louis Cardinals baseball, brought to you by Budweiser, the #1 beer, Major League Baseball, and brought to you by Hardee's. It is game one of a 3-game set here at home. The Cardinals getting set to take on the Kansas City Royals. We saw these two teams meet in Kansas City earlier in the season, and now the I-70 rivalry series moves to St. Louis. Cole Reagans, dominant as of late. He takes the mound today. Luke Weaver also taking the mound for the Cardinals instead of Andre Palante. That's an interesting move. Nolan Arenado, he's hot in his last 10 games. He's hitting .421. And Jonathan India on the Royals, he's hitting .367 in his last 9 games. And welcome back to Cardinal Baseball here on Let's Talk Sports. I'm Josh Wright doing the play-by-play. And like I mentioned before, it's game one of a 3-game set, Cardinals and Royals. This is game one of a little homestand the Cardinals will be having. 3 with the Royals, and then we have the Dodgers coming up this weekend. And then we'll have a 3-game set with the Toronto Blue Jays. But for right now, let's worry about the Royals. We'll worry about the Dodgers and Blue Jays when we get there. Let's talk about Cole Reagans in his last 7 starts. 3-1 on the year, 7 in those 7 starts, 46 innings pitched. He's had a 1.96 ERA. His Ks and walks to strikeout ratio is pretty solid. Overall, he's been a really good pitcher for this Royal staff. And on the mound is Luke Weaver. Andre Palante had the day off. He was going to make the start today, but he ended up having a rough outing his last time against the Baltimore Orioles. So the Cardinals manager did not feel comfortable having Andre Palante start today. So Luke Weaver will get the start instead. And so here we go. First pitch to Blanco, a base hit up the middle, and that's how the ball game gets started. Luke Weaver, he actually came up as a starter with the Cardinals and then was traded over to Arizona for Paul Goldschmidt. And then over the years, he kind of made his way to the bullpen, and that's where he's been for most of his career. But the Cardinals would love to try and have him be a starter again, most likely, be like a 6th starter in the rotation. As Michael Garcia takes the first pitch he sees for a strike. Luke Weaver actually has a start from earlier this year, and it came against the New York Mets in a game that he actually got the win for. Ended up pitching 5 innings. He had a decent amount of strikeouts in that game also, from what I remember. Blanco, the runner at first. Here's the pitch from Weaver, a circle change that misses for ball 1. Cardinals ended up losing their last game against the Rangers. They still won the series, taking 2 out of 3. So that's all that matters. Corey Seager ended up walking off the Redbirds in the final game of the series. There's a knuckle curve that's outside for ball 2. Here's a 2-2 to Garcia. That's it, foul. Handful of Royals fans in the crowd today, just like when we went to Kansas City. There was just a lot of Cardinal fans in the crowd too. That is off the glove of Contreras. Weaver racing to the bag, covers for the out, and that is out number 1. Might as well show you the Royals lineup while we're at it, because we didn't do that yet. Darren Blanco leads off. He's in left, and Garcia hitting 2nd and 3rd. Bobby Witt Jr., he hits 3rd at short. Hitting cleanup is the catcher Salvador Perez. Vinny Pasquantino hitting 5th at first. Jonathan India, and then it is Michael Massey, Drew Waters, and Kyle Isbell, all in that order. And then the defense for the Cardinals, Contreras is at first. Second base is Duran. Third base, Arenado. Shortstop, Mason Wynn. In the outfield from left to right, Brendan Donovan is in left. Center field's Trent Grisham. Lars Nootbaar's in right. And Ivan Herrera is behind the dish. doing the catching. Here's Bobby Witt Jr. He was hitless the last time these two teams met in Kansas City.
No, that's a ball.
And somehow that missed for ball 2. Spoiler, you're going to probably see a lot of those types of calls in this game. That is hit foul. The count is 2-1. Cardinals 48-11 heading into the month of June. End up losing their first game of the month to the Rangers, so hoping to bounce back and win in here against the Royals here at home. Runners going to third, throw down, and he is out. Nice throw down by Herrera. Showing off the arm behind the dish. Now Bobby Witt Jr. has a 3-1 count. There's a circle change that misses for ball 4. So the Royals will have a runner on first anyway with 2 out. Here's Salvador Perez hitting .282 on the season. I was looking around on the trade block just to see if there was anybody that kind of caught my eye that we could possibly trade for, since we're a couple months away from the deadline. And I've been seeing Salvador Perez was on there for a little bit with the Royals. A lot of veterans being thrown on the trade block. Jose Altuve being one with the Astros. Salvador Perez with Kansas City. There's a strike, 1-2. I even saw Justin Verlander on the Giants. He was on the trade block for a little bit, but I think they took him off. There's a little weak chopper to third that goes foul, and it's 1-2. Of course, it's not a baseball stream without my dog, or my grandparents' dog, barking in the background. Here's a 1-2 to Perez. That is a cutter hit foul. So keep the at-bat going. Royals currently in 4th place in the AL Central standings. They're, I think in real life, I think they're in 2nd. Right? Here's the 1-2 to Perez. There's a circle change that misses for ball 2. Let's see, how are the Royals doing in real life? I think they're in 2nd. I know they're doing good in real life. I think. Oh, they're in 4th place in real life too. Wow, they're 31-29. So they're still doing good. Just they're in 4th place. Luke Weaver has a full count on Perez. He's having a hard time with both his command and his control. Not really his control, but his command. 3-2 to Perez, and a fastball right down the middle, called for strike 3. And just like that, we're going to the bottom of the inning. The Royals leave a runner on, and the Cardinals will come to bat against Cole Reagans. When we return, here's Cole Reagans on the mound right now. 12 starts, 4-2. 70 innings pitched, 71 strikeouts. He's been really good, especially in his last 7 starts. Hoping to pick up win number 5 here against St. Louis. And now Lars Nootbaar comes up to the plate to lead things off. Reagans in his last start, looks like that he actually did have a start earlier this year against the Cardinals. But in his last start, he went 5 1/3 innings. He allowed 4 hits, 3 runs, a home run, 3 walks, and had 5 strikeouts. If you've been watching this Cardinal franchise, you guys will know the Cardinals strike out quite a bit. I don't know if they're in the league, if they're like in the top 10, top 5 for a lot of strikeouts, but one ball, 1 strike. There's a slider, 1-2. There is a strikeout to Nootbaar to start things off. Like I said, the Cardinals strike out a lot in this series, so here's Jordan Walker hitting .286. He's in the number 2 spot in the lineup. He's currently 5th in the National League for All-Star votes. That's coming up too. Crazy, the All-Star game's coming up. I don't exactly know when the fan votes, when the voting process starts in real life for the All-Star game. I know a lot of people have their opinions on it. Some people say it's kind of dumb. A lot of people kind of like it. I don't know. Here's the 0-2 to Walker. Check swing, and there's strikeout number 2 for Cole Reagans. I kind of want to see real quick, how many times have the Cardinals struck out as a team? Let's see, I feel like it's a lot. 446 times. That is crazy. How many times have the Royals struck out as a team? 396. Here's Wilson Contreras with 2 L's. Just now noticed his name's spelled with 2 L's. Most people I know named Wilson just spell it with 1 L. 1-0 count from Reagans. That's up high and called for strike 1. Funny story, I was watching a little interview earlier today that involved Pete Rose and Joe Buck. Joe Buck, of course you guys might know who Joe Buck and Pete Rose are, if you're a baseball fan, but they were talking about the All-Star game, specifically the one in, I think it was 1970, where Pete Rose almost pretty much knocked the catcher over while he was pretty much blocking home plate. But they were kind of talking about the All-Star game, how it's a lot different compared to now. And Cole Reagans strikes out the side to begin the inning. Or to end the inning, we go to the second. No score here in Busch Stadium. Benny Pasquantino leads off for the Kansas City Royals here in the top of the second. Benny Pasquantino, he seems like he's probably everyone's favorite Italian baseball player. Pasquantino was 1 for 5 in his last game with a home run. Isn't that exciting? The 0-1.
No, that's a ball.
There's a cutter that misses for ball 1. So for those of you who don't know, there's a 1-2 count to Weaver. But, of course, I live in Illinois. And there is a town that's not too far from where I live called Monticello. Apparently there is a movie being filmed in Monticello this week. I forget the name of the movie, but it has John Goodman, Judy Greer. It's got, who else? It's the one guy from the dad from The Middle. He's the Malcolm in the Middle, and he's the guy from Breaking Bad. He's in that movie, in the movie also. I always get The Middle and Malcolm in the Middle mixed up. Because they both have the middle in it. So there's a strikeout. One out. Here's Jonathan India.
That's a ball.
1-2 is the count. There's a fastball outside for ball 2. India started his career with the Reds, was Rookie of the Year in 2021, I believe. Of course, was traded over to Kansas City. Hasn't really been the same since his rookie season. And again, I think he's been like injured a lot.
That's a ball. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
There's a strikeout. That's the third of the day for Luke Weaver. And they'll bring in Michael Massey. Massey started his career in 2022 as a 4th-round pick out of the University of Illinois, as a matter of fact. Got to support my Illinois alma mater. Came up in 2022. And he's kind of like Jonathan India. You know, he's kind of mainly plays second base, but he's also good with other positions. I feel like if you put Michael Massey anywhere in the infield, he'll be just fine. Count is 1-2. Here's a 1-2 to Massey.
That's a ball.
Up by 2-2. There's a pop-up to Mason Wynn. And we are going to the bottom of the inning. No score. Here, Bush. Nolan Arenado leading off for the Redbirds here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Funny, the Cardinals and Royals are playing in real life today. Alec Burleson just hit a 2-run homer. That's taken 1 ball, 1 strike. Arenado hitting .322. He is, I believe, number 1 in votes, all-star votes for third baseman. Not in real life, but in, I'm talking about in the game. There's a base hit down the line. It goes foul. No hit yet for either team. Cole Reagans struck out the side back in the 1st. He's got a chance to do it here in 2nd inning. The real Cardinals are up 7-2 against the Royals at the end of 3. Gotta love to see that. What I don't love to see is the Cubs are winning 8-3 against the Washington Nationals. Cubs have had such an easy schedule the last couple weeks. Like they're literally playing the freaking Rockies, who have like 10 wins. It's like it's not fair, dude. Trying to catch up to the Cubs in the standings, but they got such an easy schedule. Like, I don't think they've really had a hard... Even the quote-unquote hard part of the schedule that they had earlier in the month, they handled that with no problem. Arenado works a walk. Here's Herrera. He too's hitting the ball pretty well as of late. He had Sunday afternoon's game off against the Texas Rangers. Got to see Pedro Pages behind the plate. Pages, who I think he's a really decent player in real life. I really love both him and Herrera. I think they're a really good little catcher duo. That's up high, ball 2, I believe. That's ball 2. Hey, what's going on, Braven? How you doing? 2-1's the count to Herrera. Strike 2 as he lets the circle change go by. Herrera and Pedro Pages, they kind of remind me of Mike Matheny and Eli Marrero. Matheny and Marrero, they were the two main catchers for the Cardinals in the early 2000s. As Cole Reagans picks up his 4th strikeout of the day, where one was like really good behind, like with the fielding, and the other was really good with the bat. Obviously, if you look on Baseball Reference, you guys will know that Matheny was not very good with the bat, but he was really good with the glove, and then Marrero was the one who was really good. He was better with the bat than Mike Matheny was. Trent Grisham hits into a double play to end the 2nd inning. We go to the 3rd. No score here at Busch, as Bobby Wood and Jonathan India celebrating the little double play. Take a look at that again. Just a nice little flip from Bobby Wood over to India, covering the bag at second.
Leading off for Kansas City.
We go to the 3rd inning. Here's the Royals' offensive stats in their last series versus the Detroit Tigers. Had 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, and 4 extra base hits. They were hitting .151 in that series and had a .540 OPS. For those of you who didn't know what the XBH initials stood for, that's extra base hits. What was your favorite game for the PlayStation 5? To be honest, I mainly just play sports games, so I'd really say College Football 25 is probably my favorite, just because, again, I mainly just stick to sports games just because they're easier to play. And also, it's one of the few games where I don't die. 1-2 is the count to Drew Waters. Drew Waters, he was originally drafted by the Braves, I believe. Then got traded over to the Royals. What about 2K25? I am very new to 2K25. Like, I just bought the game like last week. And it's not horrible. If you guys want, I can probably do basketball. I might play 2K25 for this channel. Maybe I'll do a video tomorrow on it. Maybe do like a little live stream, simulation live stream for the NBA, kind of like we do for baseball. Here's Kyle Isbell. 1 out here in the top of the 3rd. Luke Weaver still going at it. Isbell's entering the 5th year of his career. That is crazy. Seems like yesterday he just got called up, and that is rookie season. There's a pop-up behind the plate. Herrera makes the catch. That is out number 2. So that'll bring in Blanco, the Royals' leadoff hitter. He has the 1 hit in this game for Kansas City. There's a cutter taken for strike 1. Royals have 15 stolen bases on the year. As a team? Hold on. Does he have... he's got 15. I was going to say, really? Royals only have 15 stolen bases? They must be pretty slow.
No.
1-1's the count. My apologies, I read the graphic wrong. I just wanted to double check because that didn't seem right, because the Royals... I know the Royals, they've always been really good when it comes to speed. They've always had really fast guys on their team. Like, they had Alcides Escobar. He was their shortstop in 2014, 2015. You know, when they had, like, Lorenzo Cain, Terrence Gore, who was a pinch runner for them. It's funny. Terrence Gore, bro, has 3 World Series rings and only has 1 RBI throughout his entire career. He already has more World Series rings than guys like Mike Trout, Ken Griffey Jr., Barry Bonds, Ichiro Suzuki. You know, all were fantastic players. 2 Hall of Famers, 1 future Hall of Famer, and then you have another guy who would be in the Hall of Fame if it wasn't for steroids. Yeah, none of them have won a World Series, but Terrence Gore, meanwhile, oh yeah, he's got 3. And he barely plays in a lot of games. Here's Mason Wynn, leading off for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the 3rd, as they have the bottom of their lineup due up here against Cole Reagans. Here's the 1-2 count. Fastball, strike 3. Strikeout number 5 for Reagans. Here is Ezekiel Duran. There is a pop-up. And the first baseman, Pasquantino, makes the catch. 2 outs, bottom of the 3rd. Here's Ezekiel Duran. His good friend, Brendan Donovan. Sorry, Duran just popped up. Here's Brendan Donovan. Duran usually hits in the number 9 spot. Forgot that we moved him up to the 8 spot today. Count is 1-1. Brendan Donovan, in real life, is the best hitter on the Cardinals. In this game, in my franchise, he's been one of our worst hitters. As I say that, he gets the first hit of the ball game for St. Louis, but here's Nootbaar. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout against Cole Reagans. He actually pitched earlier this year against the Cardinals, and when we had our series in Kansas City at Kauffman Stadium. Of course, that was a series the Cardinals would go on to win. Kauffman Stadium, I have a bucket list. The number 1 thing on my bucket list is to go to all 30 baseball stadiums. Kauffman Stadium is one of the first ones I want to go to, because it's just such a nice ballpark. It'd probably be a nicer ballpark if Arrowhead, the Chiefs stadium, wasn't across the street from it, but oh well. But yeah, Kauffman Stadium, Busch Stadium, of course, is a fantastic ballpark, too. I've been to Busch Stadium a handful of times over the years.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
There's a slider taken for ball 2. Yeah, I think I've been to Busch Stadium 2012, 2015, 2018. Those are the three years I've been to Busch Stadium. ...2012, when I think I was 8. It was my 8th birthday. My mom took me to a Cardinals-Cubs game at Busch Stadium. And so that was kind of where my love for the Cardinals and baseball in general kind of started. And then I went again in 2015. New bar with the little pop-up and shallow center. And I think that's Kyle Isbell in center. Yep, it is. And we played 3 full here at Busch. Cardinals finally got their first hit. However, they leave a runner on. No score.
Third baseman.
Here are the Royals in their last 10 games. They are 3-7. They lost a game versus the Giants. They lost 2 out of 3 versus the Twins on the road. Got swept at home by the Reds, and then won the first game of a 3-game set versus the Tigers, but unfortunately it was all Detroit for the rest of the series. So now they come into Busch Stadium, hoping to get a little bit of redemption. I should also mention the Royals called up their top prospect in real life today.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Isn't that something? But yeah, 2012 was my first Cardinals game. April 2012. Went with my mom for a Cardinals Cubs game, and then 2015. It was July, I think, of 2015. It was around 4th of July. I went to a Cardinals game with I think it was my aunt, my uncle, and my 2 cousins. We went to watch the Cardinals play the San Diego Padres. And ironically, there were 2 players on the Padres who would go on to be future Cardinals, Judd Jericho and Tyson Ross. Tyson Ross, who started the game for the Padres, played a little bit for the Cardinals in 2018, and then Judd Jericho, who actually hit a home run in that game. He would go on to play with the Cardinals in 2016 and 2017, 2018. He was a really fun player to watch in St. Louis. And then in 2018, that's my most recent visit to Busch Stadium. Got to watch the Cardinals play the Indians. Went with my uncle, my cousin, and my dad to that game. I remember there were these 2 girls. I think they were like high school, college. They might have been college. There's a strikeout for Luke Weaver against one of the best in the game, Bobby Witt Jr. And why are they taking him out of the game? He's doing great. Why are you taking him out? Whatever. Anthony Bandas coming into the game now for Luke Weaver. Here's Salvador Perez. You could have at least had him finish the game or finish the inning before taking him out. He was doing just fine. Whatever. But yeah, I remember there were these 2 girls sitting behind us. I want to say, yeah, I think they probably were in college. Yeah, they were in college, because I remember they were drinking like little cups of beer. And I thought they were kind of cute. If you're wondering, I was like 14 at the time, so definitely no shot. So yeah, that was 7 years ago. I'm currently 21. I haven't been back to Busch Stadium since. Perez strikes out, and we go to the bottom of the fourth. No score.
Leading off for St.
Need to get
Louis,
tickets to watch the Cardinals again sometime. Maybe I can go, maybe, if not this year, then maybe next year. We can watch the Cardinals. Make a little weekend trip to St. Louis. Let's see. I'd love to go to watch a Blues game. I think that'd be pretty fun to watch a Blues game.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Here's the 1-2 to Walker. Struck out his last time up. Count is 1-2. And a check swing, and that's called for strike 3.
Up next for the Cardinals, first baseman, Wilson Contreras.
Now bring in Wilson Contreras.
Nope, that's off the plate.
Off the plate, ball 1.
Strike 1.
Grounder to third, 2 outs.
Now batting, third baseman, Nolan Arenado.
Here is Nolan Arenado.
Ball 1.
That's ball 1 to Arenado. Strike 2. Grounder to third. Into 4. No score. Vinny Pasquantino leads off for Kansas City. Here in the top of inning number 5. No score here at Busch. Game 1 of a 3-game trip, or of a 3-game series between the Cardinals and Kansas City Royals. One away.
Up next for the Blues, second baseman, Jonathan India.
Anthony Banda still out there for the 5th inning.
No, that's a ball.
Taking 1 ball, 1 strike.
No, that's a ball. 2-1.
2-1's the count. To Jonathan India.
No, that's a ball.
Now 3-1 count with Michael Massey on deck. Strike two. Now we got a full count on our hands. The 3-2. That is hit high in the air to center. Grisham will make the catch, and that is out number 2.
Now batting, the designated hitter, Michael Massey.
See if I can find the Royals schedule for this coming week. Of course, you guys know the Cardinals schedule. We got the Dodgers and Blue Jays coming to town after this. The Royals, meanwhile, they've got 3 here in St. Louis. Then they'll head to Chicago, play 3 with the White Sox. And then they're back at home next week for 6 days, for 6 games, 3 with the Yankees and 3 with the A's. And then they're back on the road, playing Texas and San Diego. And they come back home, play the Rays and Dodgers, and then start up another road trip at the beginning of July, going to Seattle. Fouled off 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Fouled away. Off the plate. 1-2.
Leading off for the Cardinals, catcher.
Bottom of the 5th coming up. Grounder to 3rd. 1 away.
Now batting, center fielder, Trent Grisham.
That'll bring in Trent Grisham. That is taken outside, ball 1. Outside, 2-0. Two and one. Two and two. Three and two. And there's a strikeout.
Now batting, shortstop.
2 outs. Here's Mason Wynn.
That's a ball. 1-0. Inside.
Inside. Ball 2 to Mason Wynn.
Up. 2-1.
Here's the 2-1.
Ball 3.
That's taken ball 3. And that's ball 4. Second walk allowed by Reagans. Here's Duran.
On the tag. He's out.
Pickoff throw, and he goes back safely. Just kidding, he got out. And we go to the 6th. Here comes Ryan Fernandez. He will face Drew Waters in the top of the 6th inning. Been live for 47 minutes.
That's inside.
Zach Jackson, JoJo Romero both warming up in the Redbird bullpen. This is a good time to talk about the Cardinal themed tickets. We'll probably talk about it after the Drew Waters at bat.
1 ball, 1 strike.
1 ball, 1 strike's the count. Strike 2.
Oh. 2-2.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Waters. That's up high and taken for ball 3. Second round pick by the Braves in 2017 out of Etowah High School in Woodstock, Georgia. In the air to center, Grisham tracks it down, 1 away. Came up with the Royals in 2022. Here's Kyle Isbell. He came up in 2021 with the Royals.
Nope, that's away.
Third round pick out of Las Vegas, or out of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
Strike 1. Hey!
Strike 2. Two outs here in the top of the 6th.
Now batting, left fielder, Tyrone Blanco.
And here comes Dairon Blanco. There's 1 out to left. And this one is going to be gone for a home run. Darren Blanco hits his 3rd home run of the year, and it's 1-0 Kansas City. Here in the top of the 6th inning. I'll bring in Garcia. He's 0 for 2 here today. Hit to Contreras. We go to the bottom of the inning. Blanco, not really known for his power. He's mainly known for his speed. Was able to hit 1 out to left field. Into the Royal bullpen for a home run. And it gives Kansas City a 1-0 lead. Here's today's starters for you. Cole Reagans for Kansas City. Luke Weaver for the Cardinals. Luke Weaver mainly a reliever, not a starter. That's why he didn't really last as long as Reagans has. This is a good chance to talk about Cardinal themed tickets. Theme tickets are a great way to get access to exclusive promotional items and fan events. For details and full list of dates, visit cardinals.com/theme. As we mentioned this week against the Royals, it'll be pickleball night, Wednesday, June 4th. Cardinals and the Royals. This week, June 6th and June 8th. Friday, June 6th, it is Pride Night at the ballpark, presented by Session Taco. And then Sunday, June 8th, as Duran's hit by a pitch. Here's Brendan Donovan. And then June 8th will be Sesame Street Day at the ballpark. That'll be this weekend when the Cardinals play the Los Angeles Dodgers. Donovan pokes one out to right. Catch is made by Drew Waters. That is out number 1. That same weekend, the Cardinals will be giving away a Cardinals neck fan presented by Scott Credit Union. And then on June 8th, Cardinals will be giving away a Rawlings Kids Glove. If they're going to be doing a Sesame Street night, they should probably give out like I don't know, like Elmo wearing a Cardinals jersey. That'd be kind of cool. Or Bert and Ernie in a Cardinals uniform. I don't know. If it's Sesame Street Day, they should probably do a promotion, like a giveaway. That's, Sesame Street related. That has to do with the Cardinals. I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. Reagans fouls off the next pitch he sees. It is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2 from Reagans. Fouls off the next pitch he sees. Count is 1-2. It fouled again. Got anybody watching? We don't. Two and 2 is the count. Double play ball 1. And got them both. That's the second double play. The Cardinals have hit themselves in 2 in this game. Here comes Phil Maton to pitch the 7th. It is currently 8:22 p.m. In the 5th inning in the real Cardinal-Royal game, it's 7-5. So it looks like the Royals are coming back a little bit. As I mentioned earlier, the Royals called up their top prospect today. And of course, Victor Scott II, who's in AAA in this universe, for those of you who are wondering, robbed the guy for his first home run. Welcome to the big leagues, kid. Sometimes your first hit or your first home run is going to get robbed. That's not going to come easy. Bobby Witt Jr. is walked for the second time in this game
Salvador Perez.
as the Cardinals kind of pitch around him. Don't know why they would do that. They were able to get him out in the Kauffman Stadium series.
Nope, that's off the slate.
Here's Perez, a 1-0 count. Perez 0 for 2 with a pair of Ks in this game. Yeah, I'm gonna try and watch the highlight real quick. I'm gonna mute myself that way I don't get copyrighted.
1 and 2.
Perez with his strikes out for the third time today. Yeah, this is an absolute nice catch. Nice play by Victor Scott. Looks like the entire Jack Caglianone, I think that's how you say his name, was watching behind the Royal dugout in disbelief. It's unfortunate, but oh, the Cardinals have signed Tyler Matzik to a minor league contract and assigned him to AAA. Okay. Welcome to the Cardinals, I guess. Is he good by any chance? Was he good this year at the Yankees? He was okay. He was okay. Looks like he was really good in Atlanta. Was horrible in 2024. He has not been great to start off the year. But, alright, whatever. Welcome to the Cardinals,
Second baseman, Jonathan India.
I guess. Two outs, runner at first. Here's Jonathan India. Two outs. 0-2 pitch to India. Struck him out. Bottom of the seventh coming up. No score, or 1-0 Royals.
Now pitching for Kansas City. Number 53, Carlos Estevez.
Carlos Estevez comes in relief for the dominant Cole Reagans.
Designated hitter, Jordan Walker.
Walker fouls off a slider for strike number 1.
That's the ball.
Off the plate, 1-2. Count is full. Walker hits one out to right, and this is going to be caught for out number 1.
Now batting, first baseman, Wilson Contreras.
Here's Wilson Contreras. Royals are now 8 defensive outs away from a win.
Nope, outside.
Contreras hits it foul, and it's 1-1.
Ball. 2 balls.
2-1.
Three balls. 1 strike.
3-1. That's a 5-pitch walk to Contreras.
Now batting, third baseman, Nolan Arenado.
Here's Nolan Arenado. Arenado 0 for 1 today. There's a pop-up and shallow right. Waters coming in. Dives and makes the catch. Moving over to second is Contreras. And there's 2 outs. Here comes Herrera. Runner at second, 2 outs. Strike 1. Herrera 0 for 2 today.
Nope, ball 1.
Slider taken. It's ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike to be exact.
Ball. 2-1.
2-1. Two and 2. And we go to the 8th. One nothing Royals.
Now pitching for the Cardinals. Number 59.
Here comes Jojo Romero
JoJo.
out of the bullpen now for St. Louis.
Leading off for Kansas City, the designated hitter, Michael Massey.
Michael Massey leads off the inning for Kansas City.
That's a ball.
In the center, catch is made, 1 away.
Now batting, right fielder, Drew Waters.
strike. That's the ball.
2-0.
2-0.
That is taken 2-1. Oh.
No, that's a ball.
Three and 1 the count. Would appreciate it if my grandparents' dog was barking again, but ball gets away from Herrera.
Now batting, center fielder.
So that is ball 4 issued by Romero. Or a walk issued by Romero. One out, runner at first. Here's Kyle as bull. Strike 1. Strike 2. Oh, and 2's the count to Isbell. My ears are starting to hurt. There's a grounder to Duran. 1. Do they get the double play? They do not.
Now batting, left fielder, Tyrone Blanco.
And that'll bring in Darren Blanco. He's the reason why it's 1-0 Royals. Hitting a home run out to left field. Runner's going, and that is out. Here's Carlos Hernandez.
Now pitching for Kansas City, number 43.
Coming in to face Trent Grisham.
No, that's a ball.
That's ball 1 to Trent Grisham. 1-1's the count. Grisham's 0 for 2. A double play, and
2-1.
he struck out. 2 trips to the plate. Ball 1. Or ball 3. Fouled off. 3-2's the count. In a left center field, that ball's going to get down. That's going to be a leadoff double for Trent Grisham here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Cardinals with their second hit of the game. There have not been a lot of those for either team. Here's Mason Wynn. Here comes the 1-0. Slider, ball 2. Two and 1. Win 0 for 1. Hitless like most of this Cardinal lineup. Hit foul, and it's 2 and 2. Wynn hits one out to left field, and the Cardinals are going to take a 2-1 lead. Mason Wynn turns this game around and gives the Redbirds a 2-1 lead. Here's Ezekiel Duran. He is not hitless, which is a good thing. Base hit into center field. And Duran
Up next for the Cardinals,
follows up the Mason Wynn home run with the single.
Donovan.
Royals going back to their bullpen. They're going to bring in Hunter Harvey to face Brendan Donovan. One long-haired guy facing the other. 0-1 the count. Donovan has one of the few base hits in this game for the Cardinals. That is taken. 1 and 2. Ball 2 to Donovan. Three and 1. 3 and 2. Three and 2 is the count to Donovan. Swing, there's a pop-up. Shallow left, Blanco comes in. He will make the catch.
Now batting, right fielder, Lars Newton.
And we go and have Lars Nootbaar come up to the plate 0 for 3. Struck out, flew out, ground out. And 3 trips to the plate. Here's the 0-1. That is low for ball 1. Counts 2-1. Rain 1, Jordan Walker on deck. Ball 4. And the Cardinals have runners at first and second. Here comes Jordan Walker.
Nope, that's away.
Want to know the count? Grounder to third, Garcia. Tried to tag the runner going to third, but instead he gets Nootbaar out at second. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Here's Helsley.
Leading on for the Royals.
22 saves for Helsley this year. He'll face the top of the Kansas City batting order. Hit down the line. Fouled away. 0-1 the count. Blanco is the 1 home run. And then Mason Wynn homered himself, making it 2-1 Cardinals. There's a pop-up. Herrera makes the catch. 1 away. Cardinals 2 outs away from a win. Here comes Garcia. Oh for 3 today. Again, not much of a hitting game. Not a lot of hits in this game. Ryan Helsley currently the league leader in the National League for saves. Here's the 0-2.
That's the ball.
One and two's the count. That is in the center. Grisham's going back at the wall, and he makes the catch. That could have been trouble. Could have been trouble for sure. Cardinals 1 out away from getting the win. They will face Bobby Witt Jr. He's walked twice today. 0-2. Struck him out, and the Cardinals win. A 2-1 Redbird winner here against the Royals. Luke Weaver was solid in the first 4 innings he pitched in. And the bullpen came in and did the rest. And that's all we got for you here today on Let's Talk Sports. A home run from Darren Blanco on the Royals side. Mason Wynn goes deep for the Cardinals, giving them a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. And that's all we got for you here today on Let's Talk Sports for Cardinal Baseball. I'm your man Josh Wright signing off. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll be back tomorrow with some 2K25. That said, I'm your man Josh Wright signing off. Cardinals win 2-1.